Hey everybody, welcome to the Outdoor Line Podcast. Today I've got my buddy Kale McCubbins with me. He just killed this giant buck a few weeks ago. Not even hardly, I don't know. Pretty recently here in Missouri, with a bow. It's a big deer that he's been after, and it's unbelievably big. Like, I had no idea it was this big until he walked in with it.
Yeah, pictures don't really do this one much justice, but November 13th, to be exact on the date, is when I shot him. So
yeah, I remember seeing the picture. I was like, oh yeah, that's a huge deer. Like, that must have been that one he was after. But till you put it in my hands, and I like almost dropped it because it was so heavy. I had no idea how absolutely huge it was. So
yeah, it shocked me as well. I mean, obviously trail camera pictures sometimes just don't do them justice on what they
Right.
are. Like November 6th, I only had 2 trail camera pictures of this deer, but I knew the deer was in the area from the previous year.
Right.
And November 6th, I get a trail camera picture of him in daylight, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, he's big, but like what you said, I thought he was like a 160s class deer. I thought he was 170s in the trail camera picture, and then the extra, I was like, I don't know. He may be a 180-inch deer with everything.
Right.
And then I wasn't quite sure. Obviously, once the hunt goes down, you see him on the ground, like, oh, this deer,
Right, yeah.
his body's big, his beams are big, everything was just a lot bigger than what I thought he was.
Sure, trail cameras could definitely be deceiving. Usually it's the other way.
Yeah.
But it can go both ways.
Yeah. Yep. On the big ones, sometimes I feel like it does make them just a little bit smaller than what they are.
Right.
But,
So tell me a story, like back from even last year. Like, you had a picture of him last year.
Yeah. So I didn't have a picture of this deer last year until probably like late January. And it's just a big river bottom system, small little creek with a lot of woods, a lot of timber. So no pictures for me. There was a couple other deer that were pretty good in there, but I get one picture. Now, I knew the deer was around just from my neighbors, and actually it'd be like my uncle. He had sent me some pictures of him. Like, well, he's quite a ways away, so I'm
Right.
not going to get pictures of this deer. But so I knew he was there. Obviously, I wasn't hunting the deer, but I did finally, like, say January 20th, get a trail camera picture of him, and you just tell he's framey. I mean, I figured he was probably a 5-year-old at the time. But I wasn't hunting the deer, like not actively hunting it. There was some other deer there, and he just happened to, I felt like that was the very outside of his home range, and he was probably bachelored up with some other bucks, and they just drug him to that location.
Right, just happened to venture into
Yeah.
your farm.
So I did have one, it's a 3-picture burst. So I had one
Sure.
series of pictures of him, and he really impressed me with his frame last year, but it wasn't, I kind of try to hunt the deer. Like, I've already got the deer that I'm wanting to hunt picked out right now for next year is normally how I do it. So this deer wasn't on there at all.
Right.
And I knew he was there, but it wasn't just based off of the year before. I never had any pictures of him. Wasn't expecting to be there.
So he was just a big 10 too last year.
Clean
right?
10,
Clean
like
10.
probably score 180 last year, just clean. And yeah, I mean, everything he is right now except for this extra coming off here.
Sure.
And then he's not broke last year, but that is what it is.
Yeah, it happens.
And there's a long story to go with the break of this, and we'll get into that. But so one set of pictures, had some other deer I was after this year, and then couple deer things happened to them I wasn't expecting, and one of them got shot. I did not expect that to happen, so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to find a different deer, I guess. So I'm just gonna roll in kind of the story of it. So I didn't get a hunt a lot early this year just because family and everything just so busy, but obviously from October 25th on, that's my focus. That's what I'm doing. And so 25th comes around, I've got a deer, shows up daylight, big one. We talked about it, when we were talking about doing this podcast, like, let me shoot a deer and then we'll talk about it. This one, he shows up daylight, and I'm like, well, just perfect. I think I was actually
give you some time. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Sooner or later I'll get him.
Yeah, I think I even messaged you that day. It's just a matter of time. And then I get a text like 4 or 5 days later, and the neighbor's like, hey, I just shot that big deer. I'm like, oh, I did not expect you to shoot that deer. Happy as could be for the guy. Like, great guy, great neighbor, shares pictures, awesome guy. But
damn it.
Dang it. I'm happy for the guy, but
5
years ago before we had, and I'm not knocking crossbows or anything like that, but I guess I'm just not used to that. Normally they're dying in rifle season. Sure. I'm not knocking crossbows. The guys 60 plus years old. Use a crossbow.
Yeah.
But he did kill it, and I'm super stoked for the guy. Like, send him, like, awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. Now I got to find something else to hunt. But
Sure.
So I don't have anything that I'm real excited about. I know of a few bucks that I'm waiting for. At any moment they can show up. And in a lot of the places I hunt, I don't have the deer in velvet. I've actually never killed a deer I had velvet pictures of.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's all deer that are moving in.
It's most of the areas I hunt. I mean, it's just big river bottom systems, and then I hunt the hills off the rivers.
Sure.
So velvet, they're all in the bottoms, and then you don't know where
when
they're
the crops
land.
are in, the corn's in, they just live out there in the bottoms and then make their way up to the timber.
Correct. So I don't know. I mean, there might be a deer that ranges somewhere as a 4-year-old, but then he switches as a 5-year-old just because of when they come up. That I swear that first south-facing slope is where the most dominant buck. He just lands there almost every time,
Right.
and unfortunately, I'm the second south-facing slope. So
they got to get through one to get to you.
Is always the second thicket off of the bottoms is what the first thicket off the bottoms is where I'm just like, man, a slammer is going to be there. So anyway, that's where that buck got killed. Actually, he was always on the second thicket, and then he turns into a 5-year-old, and they got killed on the first one. So, but that's how it just, you don't know what you're gonna. I mean, I know the bucks I'm going to be hunting, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure he's going to land there, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
But that deer gets shot, and then I'm searching for other deer, and they're just not showing up yet. And it's November 2nd, I take my son youth hunting to the farm that this deer was close to. I've got 2 cameras on it, no pictures of him, no pictures of anything but a few old deer. And just to show, like, I don't put a lot of cameras. My goal was, instead of having, like, all my cameras on one farm and 15 cameras on a farm, I just got this theory: the more cameras you stick on a place, it's just like the deer just know.
Think so?
I'm always sticking them as high as I can stick them, like 8 foot plus, looking down on the deer. I don't like just jamming right in their face, and I don't like to use a lot of them.
Right.
But what I notice is the higher I put them, the less the deer avoid them.
Sure.
So.
Yep, I can get behind that. And on the, like, all your cameras on one farm, like, I debate with myself every year. I think, okay, I'm gonna find a buck I want to chase, and I'm gonna heavy cell cameras on that farm or for that deer, But then I never get like a great feeling that I'm perfectly on one, and there's always this thought in my mind, well, if I leave them on this farm and one shows up, that way I'll know. Mm-hmm. So I leave my cameras spread out.
Yep.
The fix would be to buy more cell cameras, but it's just not feasible at some point. But like, I leave them spread out, one on this farm, 2 on this farm, whatever, and just always in the back of my mind thinking a giant that could make me drop everything and go to that farm could show up any day.
Yep.
It never happens, but
it's
always that possibility.
So that, and I've had this, when we were growing up as kids, everyone wanted to own 1,000 acres, and in my mind, I still am like, I want to own 1,000 acres in one piece. But now that I'm old enough to realize and done this enough now, it's like I'd take 10 100-acre tracts over 1,000 acres in one chunk. It's every day of the week.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, it's different, a whole different herd.
Yep.
Like, people are like, yeah, there's 40 acres up for sale next to me. I'm thinking about buying it. It's like, well, you could buy another 40 acres and be hunting 2 big bucks instead of the one. It's just, I can see both. I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, I can if EHD hits or anything like that, and you've got 1,000 acres, so you're out.
Yep, that's true.
So I have 2 cameras on it, and I'm not. And I've got buddies that put 15, 20 cameras on a farm, and they just do great. And I text them about it all the time. Like, I swear to you that if I did that, I have no chance at this deer. And if it's a bigger farm, obviously I have more cameras. But a small parcel like this, I'm not going to have a bunch of cameras. And they do it. It works for them. It's some reason it doesn't work for me very well. I don't know what it is there. But so I only have 2 cameras. I don't have a picture of deer, but it's youth season. I'm like, boys are wanting to go hunting. I'm like, yeah, let's go out. We go to this farm. It's actually a cattle farm. It's got cattle on it. As I shot this deer, it still had cattle on it. Not very many, but it's not a lot, but there was some on it. And I noticed as we're just walking in, just going to kind of like almost, well, we were basically going to scare everything out. We were just having fun, and the hopes that some deer walks out and he gets to shoot it. And I noticed this pin oak tree that's just absolutely shredded. Not not a rut, but the scrape is just ripped up, and
Right.
it's almost any time I've ever seen the limb where it's twisted, and it looks
Like they got mad at it.
yeah, and you're like, man, that buck has something extra about it.
You know, there's a good deer.
And I knew that this deer was in the area, but he'd never been on this farm, so I was just, writing him off. Someone else is going to hunt him. It is what it is. And so I was texting some of my buddies. I'm like, I'm going to have to get in here the next day, like tomorrow morning. And so I do, and, obviously we don't see anything because we probably scared him and every other deer out. So the next morning I come in there and park my truck on the gravel road and walk in there. I had a great hunt. I mean, it was a good morning. I felt like every deer in the woods, and I did see a very good deer. It wasn't him, but I did see one. I'm like, I would shoot that deer. So, as I'm hunting, I'm sitting up there. It's one of those mornings where like thermals are just rising, and I can get away with anything.
Right.
Yeah. I'm getting texts, and I'm texting some people back, and I get like 4 texts, and they're just like, what deer are you hunting? Then I get a text, hey, a buddy was asking, he noticed your truck was parked there. And this is a pretty heavily traveled gravel road. And they're like, what deer are you after in there? And I'm like, I'm going to have to do something different here. I'm not just going to be able to park here because there's several people that can hunt in there, and there's several people that could get permission. And everyone knows of it as a good hunting spot, that creek. But it's like everyone else in that area also has other farms and other deer to chase if they're serious about it.
Right.
And so there's a chance that they don't have him on camera or, whatever.
And what's funny is you didn't know about him really yet. You didn't have any pictures of him yet.
I didn't, but
you knew in the back of your mind he was around.
Well, what I would say, my uncle had some pictures, but he was down creek quite a way.
Right.
So,
but it's not like you had a deer pinned down in there and you were
no.
Like everybody was thinking. Anyway.
And actually, the picture that I was sent this summer, I was like, he didn't look very good in the photo. I actually thought he went downhill a little bit. So. That just again shows you how sometimes trail cameras just trick you. So yeah, I didn't think of this deer, I guess, whenever I saw the scrape and the other thing. So I just wasn't sure at the time. But I knew I had to do something a little different with my truck because obviously other people are going to start paying more attention to that, start hunting a little harder. And again, people may not be that they're like, I haven't shot my bow yet. You talk to those people, I haven't shot my bow yet. I haven't done this. Like, hell, well, this guy's been hunting on this gravel road, and
they think, I better get in there.
Yeah,
if he's in there,
maybe
he's in there for a reason.
And it's not necessarily that I'm so worried about him killing the deer. It's just the extra pressure. And
sure, yeah.
If you're hunting, say this farm's 80 acres ish, it's and the neighbors hunting, and they're not playing the wind or anything. They're just blowing everything. It's just making it tougher.
Everything up. Yep.
Yeah, it's just making it tougher on you. So
some people don't think about it on the same level that you may or that others might.
Yeah. So I guess I was thinking, well, I got to do something different if I'm going to continue to hunt in here. And right now I really don't have a deer that I'm super excited at. I've got a couple that I'm waiting on to show up. And so I'm going to just keep hunting here until I figure this out. And then obviously November 6th hits, and I get a picture of him just daylight cruising where he has never been before. I'm like, man, this is weird. Why is this deer 5-6 years old and he's just completely shifting his range and north across the gravel road? It's like, this is just odd to me, which I've had deer. I've never had it come the opposite way. I feel like I've always had it where
deer leave that you don't expect to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, he's going to be there next year. I guarantee you. And then he's for some reason half mile away. So he's doing some things different than what he did last year, obviously, because I got a picture of him. And then like November 9th, I believe it was, I see him and I noticed that he broke half of his rack. I'm like, oh no.
And he hadn't broke it on the 6th. Is that right?
He was not broke on the 6th. So the 9th he was broke. Half of his rack broke. And at this point, I had a kayak. There's a bridge there, and I had a kayak underneath the bridge. And I was actually taking an e-bike and then getting in the kayak, and I was kayaking in. And I'll kind of tell you, it's an open timber because there's cattle in there, and it's just so loud. And the bucks are all feeding across this gravel road in this cornfield, and then all the deer. And then in the morning, they're coming back. They're crossing a gravel road, and they're coming back and bedding in this thicket. So it was so loud. In the morning hunts, what I kind of like to do, and it's probably different than – so, I mean, I've heard other people talk about doing this, but this is kind of what I like to do is especially in this situation. I was kayaking probably like a half mile, and it's downstream, so the kayaking that was easy. But coming out,
sucked,
the only downfall to it was the duck. That's big duck hunting down there, so they were sucking all the water out of the creek, and it's just more and more log jams. I mean, every morning when I'd go in, it was just I was coming up over so many. Is at the point where I was just wearing my waders to hunt in because I'd have to get out and push the kayak and things. But to go on with that, so I'm hunting him. It's just crunchy, but I can't get in there and feel safe at all without just feeling like I'm. You sit up in the stand, you're like, I just feel like I just blew everything out of here, and I don't feel confident. And when you don't feel confident, you don't stay as long.
It's hard to stay in the stand. Yeah, when you feel like you messed everything up.
Yeah, I just felt like that's really the reason for the kayak. And then the water's, holding your scent down.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I was doing is I wasn't getting in there at dark in my stand. I was waiting until 7:30, whenever I see the sun actually start like hitting the floor or coming up enough where you see the water, all the steam of the water just really start rising, and then I would basically slide into the stand from there.
Okay.
It was past gray light, so I could actually see what was going on.
Right, you could be more quiet by seeing.
Yeah.
If there was a deer 200 yards away, you weren't going to bump him because you'd see him, sure.
But then what I've noticed is like I wouldn't do that of an evening because all the deer in this situation are just bedded along the creek. They're within 10 yards of the creek. So if I do that, they may let me slide by on the kayak, but they know I'm there.
Right.
So if I was doing this, then I was hunting all day. And if I had to move my stand 100 yards because of food or whatever, I would do that. But I was already in there, and the thermals were rising.
Right.
And I was only hunting on days where the thermals were rising, basically. So I see him on November 9th, and he's broke up, and I'm like, oh, no. What am I going to do? And I'm sitting there just upset, like, the one deer I'm after gets shot. This deer, you know how you get. Poor me attitude. Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Yep.
I've been feeling that way this year.
Yeah. It's just you get those seasons, and I'm like, it's just one of those seasons, the poor me season. So, and I text a couple buddies, and one of them I was like, hey man, just so you know, he knew about the deer, and I'm like, this deer, he broke half his rack. Like, I'm not shooting him. And he's like, okay, well, man, that sucks. And, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but the one deer I had before, there's another one I think is going to show up, but, he broke half his rack. I'm not a big fan of it. So, that's on the 9th. Then I wake up the morning of the 10th, and I have a picture of a deer that is, I'd say he's right. I'd say it's the deer that broke this deer's rack. And if you see on the side of this deer, it's like brittle.
Yep.
A little bit, his main beam was a little brittle there. I don't know.
So let's talk about it real fast. It's probably hard to see in the camera, but up this G3 and I'm sure onto the main beam that was there, it's like delaminated. Like the outside surface is chipped off.
Yeah.
And you can see like the core of the antler. So it obviously had something going on there weird, and it's probably why it broke. I mean, he was obviously in a fight, and it was a weak point, and then it broke. So
I would think, and whatever deer broke that, I would think he would be broke up as well. And if
this is a super heavy deer. Like you can't imagine he'd break a main beam that's going to measure 4.5 or 5 inches out here at this point. But with a weak point.
Yeah,
it must have happened.
So I get a picture of this deer, and I mean, he's a stud. And I'm like, well, hey, we're back on another deer.
Right.
And
got some motivation to get up and go out that morning.
Yeah. So I go a couple more mornings, and I've been texting neighbors, and everyone pretty much communicates down there. And I got another guy that's like a pretty good friend of mine. He has pictures of the deer as well. He's like, just so that deer's over here. I'm like, okay, well, I guess if you can imagine the two deer's home ranges, like a Venn diagram almost. There's a small spot where they lapse.
Right.
And
it's the rut.
And
things get sporadic, and you never know, and
correct.
It could happen at any moment.
And like what we were talking about earlier, this situation is the exact opposite of what I'm normally I'm hunting the hills off of bottoms. This is actually bottom timber, but it's so low that the crops are all in the field. So it's the exact opposite. All the deer are in the hills and the crops, and then they're pulling down this bottom. So I've ran cameras here for 5 years now, and every single year, just like, you don't know what's going to show up in these
Right.
They're really good rut funnels, and you don't know what's going to show up there. So what's the odds? I mean, I've had cameras here for 5 years. I've never had a deer that was a 180-inch deer, and then this year, all of a sudden, I have 2.
Right.
So, like, pretty odd, you know? Yeah. And so I'm going after this other deer, and I'm tickled pink, you know, I've got something to hunt, and this deer, if he walks by me, I'm going to let him walk, and looking at him now, obviously, and
you couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and actually,
nobody would.
In the story, you're about to, yeah. So I have full intentions of letting this deer, like, I'm not, if this deer comes by me and it's one of those, and I see him, I'm not shooting him. So I'm like, I'm going to let him go. We'll see what he is next year. I really good chance to get shot with a rifle, especially more and more as, like, people get closer to rifle season. They're more interested. More people have kind of found out about the deer.
And that's a deer you see and instantly think, yeah, I'm shooting him before you may ever realize he's got a broken beam.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically to get to the, you know, I hunt a few more days in there in November and get to the morning of like the 13th, the evening of the 12th, I was scouting out. There's a bottom in this cattle pasture that is Reed's canary grass, and it's got a lot of willows, and it's got multiflora rose, just a thicket. And based off the intel that another guy told me, I'm like, that deer is the deer that I'm after now with like the double. He also has a double beam like this. The deer I'm after now, he's over there further. So I'm going to, as I was walking out, I guess it was around noon on the 12th, I kind of scouted out a couple trees as I was walking out, and I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do here? Because they were some pin oaks, and they were just thick, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hang and hunt. And that's what I was
Pin
doing.
oaks are tough.
Yeah.
You can find the right one, but
yeah,
you fight it
the whole
way up.
Yeah, you're fighting it. Yeah, you have a lot of branches to step on, but yeah, also a lot of cutting. So I was like, how about I'll just go out and I'll act like I'm checking cows. I'm not a farmer, but act like I'm checking cows and just be loud, take Milwaukee hatchet saw, and I'm gonna go hang my stand at like 11:30 at night. So that's what I do, is I go in there and I just open the gate loud. I drive all the way to where I was wanting to stand, and I go and I hang this stand, and I get up there and I cut the branches, and I'm as loud as I can basically be, thinking that all the deer are feeding in the fields.
Sure, they're not right in
there
at
there.
that point.
They're not there. So I get the stand hung, and I get back out, and then that morning comes, and I'm sitting there, and it's gray light, and I'm just in the situation. I'm just waiting until I'm just waiting. I'm like, there's no hurry here, because this is more of like a scouting hunt than it is. I haven't hunted this stand, and I want to get in clean as I can. And so I start getting across this pasture. I see a couple does just kneel down, wait for them to filter out, slip into the stand. I get up in there. I'm there for 25 minutes, and I see the other buck, and he's 100 yards away, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I just he's cruising, and I just throw a grunt over my shoulder, just, you know, and he snaps his head, and he goes to turn back around, and I go, and then right after, you know, and he immediately turns, and he just mad dash at me.
Really?
There's one little drainage, and I'm on the very edge of this creek, and I immediately turn, I grab my bow, and just like a rookie mistake, you know, I didn't keep my eyes on the deer. And I don't know what I was thinking there, but I turned my head, grabbed my bow, I turned back around.
He's
and I'm like,
right
where's he at?
Oh, you lost him.
No. He was far enough away. I wasn't worried about him looking at me. It was just like, keep your eyes on him so you know exactly where he's going, you know?
Right.
And I turned around, and he's not there. And there's just one drainage. He must have hit this drainage, and then he hit the other creek. And I can't find him. Like 10, 15 minutes go by, and where's this deer at? Yeah. He was marching at me. I turn around, and he just dipped down in the creek, and I cannot find him.
Crap.
And I'm just looking around. Finally, I see some movement at 35 yards in just the thicket. And I'm like, I grab my binos. I'm like, oh, yeah, there he is.
He'd been standing right there probably for
the
whole
whole
while.
time.
Yeah,
he's just staring. You know, I wasn't moving. I had my bow in my hand. My hand was getting cold. That's how long,
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was just staring, just waiting for something to happen, you know. And again, it's not this deer. It's another big deer. So eventually he turns around and he starts to walk away, and he wags me off. And as he's walking away, then I had enough time to grab my grunt tube, and he turns his head back, but his body's still facing away, and he just turns back, wags me off again, and takes off walking. I'm just like, oh no, like, man, what was
There's nothing you can do at that point either. Like,
No.
you can try everything.
Yeah, you could snort wheeze. He's going to
He
run.
already made up his mind.
Yeah,
he stood there for 10 minutes, didn't see or hear anything, and
Yep.
he's
It's
made up
over.
his mind. That's why they get so big.
Yeah.
Because he's smarter than
Yep.
that.
And just to grab the thicket, you know, he's in a wide open cattle pasture, basically cruising the edge of this, like old creek bed, and he's in wide open. He just grabs the thicket
He
as soon
stops
as he
in the
can.
thickest spot to listen and look. Yeah.
And
that's cool though. It just
I'm
shows
like,
you how smart they
oh,
are.
yeah, dang it. What am I going to do now? I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm going to have to move the stand because I just felt like I wasn't going to kill him out of that now. And I know more than, like, think that. He's probably 120. I lose him in the binoculars, and I hear, and then I look over to my right, and here's 2 does and a little forky pushing them. And I'm like, oh, it's
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, back on. Yeah. So I grab my bow again, and I'm just looking. And I'm just staring into this. I mean, it's just willows, multiflora rows, just as thick as you can even imagine. The only place I can shoot is right out in front of me. And that's why I was cutting all the limbs, because I had to get to that lane. And what I was expecting was the bucks cruising through there and pushing does through there. And so, I don't know. He chases that doe around. The doe stops right here at 20 yards. And as he stops at 20, you know, I'm just staring this way. And all of a sudden, I just see Magnum rack. I'm like, there he is. He's back. And so he's on the trail that it's like 35 yards. And I just see this, just this frame. And I literally was like this. I see the deer. I go like this. Yep. Put him back. I'm like, it's got to be
That's
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same deer that was just
no
here at 30
mistake.
yards, right?
Yeah. Right. He was there minutes ago.
So, here he comes. Obviously, you know, I've already decided that's that deer. I could tell giant, you know, I've done it enough to know that.
You're past the identifying point.
Yeah.
Like, you're just already convinced this was the other deer that
absolutely.
you just saw.
Yeah. So he walks behind this just willows, you know, and I see legs coming. So immediately I draw back. I already know it's 35 yards. I see the head. I'm like, yep. I don't, you know how you don't want to you don't want to stare at the rack.
No, yeah. You're like, okay, don't look. Don't look.
Yeah.
Peek out a little bit. Nope. Quit looking.
So he steps out, and he's 35. I mean, it is absolutely just drilling. And as he wheels to take off running, I'm like, oh, well, that's not the deer I was just like, you know. And I've
not
made
the deer you thought you shot.
I've made fun of people about it. I never thought that, and that's why I was like, my dad has done it a few times. I'm like, Dad, it's because you have a rifle. You know, you're not identifying. You're seeing a big rack, and then you're not. The time it takes and the close distance, you're not realizing, oh, no, that's not what I saw, because your mind will play.
Right.
Your eyes will lie to you. Your mind will play tricks on you. And so anyway, it happens to me, and I'm just like,
So you knew, like, as soon as you let that arrow go and he took off, you're like, wait, that's not the deer that just walked out of here.
Yeah. As soon as the arrow buries into him, and he turns his head. And, the frame, he's sitting right here, but I had myself convinced that it was just a different deer I didn't know, because I knew this deer was big, but I did not think that he was that big.
Right, because you kind of shrugged it off, the pictures you were sent earlier in the year.
Yeah, yep. So, but as that frame came in, I was like, oh, my gosh, like the split second, you know, your mind just, you know how it is. You're just obsessed with these animals.
Absolutely.
And you just spend so much time looking at them. When you see one, you know what you saw. And he runs off, and I see I'm like, there was something weird there, you know, and the chances of being a different deer, I was just kind of almost, in a way, which this is really, sounds weird, I was almost hoping that, I'm like, I hope that's not that deer, because I just told like 3 people I'm not shooting him.
Right.
And so I hear him. You know, he goes 80 yards and crashes, and I'm sitting up there, and I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm very excited, and I know he's a big deer, but I'm like, back of my mind, man, I'm going to look like a fool to some people right here. And so I call my cousin immediately, and, you know, I tell him, and I'm like, hey, you know, come down here and help me. And I text the one guy that I had told, or 2 guys that I told him, like, hey, I just shot the deer I told you I wasn't going to shoot. And, you know, I don't
Sorry.
know. Yeah. Hey, sorry. I mean, so, and then obviously I'll walk up on him, when he did. I mean, I drilled him. So he takes off, and then I hear him, you hear him tip over, and you hear the leaves rustling and stuff. I'm like,
you knew he was done.
Yeah, he's done. So I wait on my cousin. We walk over the hill, and you're just like, oh, whoa. He just, every time I've ever shot a deer I thought was big, I get up there and he's not quite as big as what you thought. This is the one time where I was like, I could pass this deer. No, there's no way. Not that, I had myself convinced in my mind that I would never pass this deer. Like, looking back now, yeah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life. This deer was bigger, broke, than what the other deer is with everything.
Really?
So, yeah, I didn't realize just the body size, in the frame.
Yeah, when they got a humongous body,
yeah,
your proportions are off of what you're used to. You're usually used to looking at a 4-year-old, when they get mature and 5 or 6, whatever he is.
Yep.
They're just that much bigger, and you don't realize it, I guess.
Yeah. No, you don't. And, I would have guessed 17 inches wide, he's 21.
Right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so, so I text those guys. I'm like, you all are going to be mad at me, obviously. I'm sorry about it. I will say this, though. I'm as happy as I could possibly be. Broke or not, broke rack or not broke. I couldn't be any happier. So,
yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, so that's kind of the story of it. Now, the other deer, he's obviously still there. I'll show you some pictures afterwards so you can see just the similarities. They both have this here, but it's on the other side. Now, he could be 5 miles away now, just the way that river system works. But, so, that's kind of the hunt for this deer was, I guess it was probably about 10 days it was pretty tough as far as getting eyes laid on this deer and just trying to figure out the deer because I haven't hunted the farm a lot. I haven't spent much time on it.
Right, you don't have a lot of history.
I don't have much history now. So that was pretty much the hunt, for the deer.
What's this dagger measure?
I think it's
Extra
15
beam.
and a half.
No kiss.
Yeah.
Longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Longest points.
Yeah.
Extra beam.
15 and a half, 6.5 inch bases.
What are his beams?
This one was 26 and a half. That one
also, I don't want to just shrug that off. 6.5 inch bases is crazy.
Yeah. Yep. His bases are. Yeah, he's heavier than what I thought he was. He's just everything.
Yeah, he's got mass everywhere. His tines are heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
And so this side that's broke off, you said the G4 out here was actually longer than the other side, just based on the picture you had.
Yeah. So right now he's at 180, give or take a little.
Sure.
I think he's probably got 18 inches busted off. So
really,
about 11.5 inches of beam. I would say that G4 was probably roughly 6 inches, and then he has about 1.5 inches G5 on that side.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'll show you some pictures after we're done.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Everyone's all like, well, this is how you killed him. But what's broke off is what he was. He grew that.
Yeah. Yeah, and normally I don't get them fixed. In this situation, I will.
I don't blame you one bit.
I feel like I'm going to tell people the story. Obviously.
Sure, yeah, you wouldn't hide it.
I'm not ashamed by any means,
Right.
I told a bunch of people, if this deer would have just grown like this and this would have just been nubby out here, he's my number one deer.
Right, yeah.
Since he broke, I took him. I took, he's less than, I guess.
Yeah, but still. In my opinion, he grew it, put it back on there.
Yeah.
It'll look better.
Yeah.
And you can tell that story. We had this fixed.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you own up to it, then I think it's completely cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's honestly just an honest mistake of, now.
But still, man, it's hard to pass a 180-inch deer.
Yeah, no. I
wouldn't
have guessed that's what he was. I kind of thought that's what he was with everything.
Right. And that makes sense. So, breaking all that off, you thought, well, he's probably only in the 160s now or whatever. So
which still
a great deer. Yeah. But, man, what potential he could have for next year, whatever.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah. Yeah.
He's a freaking awesome deer. I can't believe how much it weighs. Just put my hands on him, how heavy he is.
The frame of him. And I took a picture of me laying by the deer. And
I know, yeah.
His body size is...
Yeah, huge body.
Huge body. And everyone that's seen him was like, oh, I did not realize. The pictures just didn't do him justice. I'm like, they didn't in the cameras either.
Right, yep.
So, yeah.
It happens. I've got I've been hunting a 10-pointer that like reminds me of that. I don't think he's that big, but what if he's one that fools you too, and he's actually 10 inches bigger than you think? Like, it's hard to tell, but I don't think he's that big. But he's shaped similar. It's just not.
Yeah.
Just not quite as big.
I mean, it is. You know how it is. You send pictures to everybody, and they guess what they score. And I like to think I'm pretty good at guessing what they score. And
yep, me too.
You know, some deer, their bodies just aren't as big. Some,
yep.
You know.
So I've got a deer that was last year was 4.5, and he's this little 8-pointer. He's not big at all. Like, I don't think he'd score 120. But I thought, like, his body's, looked pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I think that deer's antlers are bigger than I think. I think this is happening. I think his body size is throwing me off. I found one with sheds. He's not big.
Yeah.
He's little.
Yeah.
But it just, every deer's different. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah,
you think all deer are the same, but, man, they're so different.
Oh, body sizes can vary so much. Yep. I mean, I always keep a scale, and I didn't weigh this one. Normally, I like to weigh them with their guts in them and then gut them later, or sometimes I cut the meat out without, just leave the guts in. But I always like to weigh the deer just to see what they're at. And this deer, there's just this steep ridge we had to go up, and I look at it, and I'm like, I'm going to gut him.
Yeah.
And now I just wish I wouldn't have, just so I could have weighed him and gave you the correct weight.
Right.
So, but yeah, just super awesome deer. Obviously tickled with him, and, not the story, not the deer. It's kind of, most of the time when it's not the deer you're after, it's smaller. This case, it was bigger.
Right.
But, yeah, I couldn't be any happier with him.
Absolutely. What kind of broadheads you shooting?
Right now, I'm shooting beast broadheads.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Old Bomar, huh?
Yeah. Some people like Bomar. Some people don't like Bomar.
He's interesting. He kills a lot of big deer.
Hey,
can't argue it.
No, you cannot argue it. And to be honest with you, I don't care either way. I think he made the best broadhead. I do. I've
not been around him much to know.
I shot an elk this September, and I was amazed with it. And I could take that broadhead. I could take both these broadheads and go use them again.
Really?
Clean them off in the sink. Go shoot them again. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with them so far. And I'm not a big. I always say it's not the Indian, or it's not the arrow. It's the Indian saying. I'm not a big gear guy. I mean, I just never have been. I've got buddies that are just crazy over it, and they can tell you everything about it. I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm more just obsessed with the actual deer itself.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily care about, if my bow's shooting 305 or shooting 320. I want to know where he beds at. I want to know, I want to know
the important
that.
stuff.
Yeah. To me, yeah. I mean, other people would disagree, but
when I get in like broadhead debates or just conversations, I say you could kill a deer with field point if you hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the most important place.
Absolutely.
Shot placement's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I've never been the gear guy. It's just for some reason the animal is just
absolutely, yeah.
Just been amazed.
I feel that too, but I can't believe you don't like running cameras more. Like I think I like running cameras more than I like hunting. Like I love to get pictures of deer. Like and feel like I have them figured out. Like it's just I feel like that's over half the battle is like patterning a deer or getting daylight pictures. I'm like, oh, I'm on his ass now, but doesn't necessarily work out.
I probably said that and it came off like I don't like trail cameras.
No, right.
Yeah. No, I run as many trail cameras as anybody. There may be a little fence row somewhere, and I'm like, I'm going to stick a camera on that. I'll think it's dead because I haven't got a picture of a deer in 2 weeks,
Right.
But I don't like to hone in on a deer and just jam cameras in.
Right.
I like to go. I want to get a picture of him. Normally, this is kind of how I go about it. I'm so busy, with kids and just work and life and everything until October that I go elk hunting every year, like right around the 15th. So I don't have time. Obviously, I'm gone. I can't kill a deer early, and I really love October. I mean,
me too.
I actually don't. To be honest with you, I was disappointed in myself that it was taking me this long to shoot this deer. Like, what am I doing? It's November 13th. I'm still hunting this.
Same.
What has happened to me?
Here we are, November 24th. Yeah. I still haven't killed one.
Well, it can change quick, is all I can tell you. But I like to get a couple photos of them, say, October 15th. They start showing up most of the time for me. And then if I get one picture of the deer, I'm going to assume the deer's in there. I just, in my mind, I'm assuming he's there every single day, and I'm assuming he's there in daylight. and then I go in and hunt. And 9 times out of 10, when I'm thinking like that, and I'm okay, we've got our cold front. I'm gonna go in, and my goal is to get a picture of a deer. I am a big food plot guy. I mean, obviously this deer, and I don't kill every deer off food plots, but I do love planting food, and I love the cameras, and I love all of that stuff. But I like to get, if I get 2 photos of deer, I'm just going to assume he's there every single day.
Right.
And that way I'm not, because I've done it where I've jammed cameras in. And, again, I have friends that do it, and they have so much success doing it.
Right.
And I don't know. I haven't had that much success doing it. In fact, I've actually felt like I've ran deer out doing that. And I don't know if it's everyone's situation is so different. My neighbors also sometimes, you might have a 160 and it's really, really good, but then the neighboring farms are cattle farms or they're big wide open ag, and so the deer are they're in a way stuck. But where you're hunting in this situation, just lots of timber. Where I'm at, lots of timber. I do think you can bump a deer. I think you can push a deer. And to go back just on like this deer's home range, I believe that duck hunting pushed this deer. I think there was a wetland that I'm not sure that was pumped the year before, and it got pumped this year, and I think things didn't quite go well, and they had to work on stuff, and it was right where this deer was bedding at. I think
it just shoveled the deck a little bit.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, move a little bit.
I think and then it happened there instead of where it normally would. But so that's kind of how I like to do it. Get a couple pictures, assume that they're there. If a camera dies, I'm just in my mind, yep, he's still there, he's still there, he's still there. And then go in, and like I said before, 9 times out of 10, here he comes. And you're like, oh, he's been here the whole time. In reality, he probably hasn't, but it makes me feel better.
I had a pretty good learning curve this year. Like, I've been hunting this one deer hard, and I got quite a few pictures of him. I've had a lot of encounters with him. I think I've seen him 5 times. And, of course, those 5 times, he never walked in front of my camera.
Yeah.
So, then my wheels are spinning so how many nights have I thought he wasn't here?
And he was, yeah.
And he probably was. He could have been 30 yards away. He just didn't hit this one scraper, walk through this corner or whatever, So, it just – I catch myself putting a lot of weight in cameras, and I probably shouldn't. There's a happy medium in there somewhere. Use it, but don't use it to discourage you from going.
Yeah,
I guess.
And it can do that easily. And that's happened to me. I mean, 5 years ago, if I wasn't getting a deer on camera, I was like, oh, he's not there. Well, I got a picture of him.
I'm kind of the same way.
I got a picture of him October 28th, and it's November 10th, say, and I haven't had him since October 28th, so I just assume he wasn't there. Yeah. And then I go hunting, and he's the first deer out in the field.
Right.
You're like, oh, my. He's been here the whole time. I've been fooling around. But, 5 encounters with him. Man.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to have to get him. Is he still alive?
I don't know. I stuck him. Couldn't find him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. A couple neighbors know, and some know the deer, or had some pictures of them last year or whatever. And I'm going to do some walking here after rifle season some point and see if I can't find him. But I don't know. I did everything I could the first time. Well, yeah, he'll turn up surely. Yeah.
The deer, when I was talking about this, there was deer I was saying I was expecting him to show up at any moment. Another friend of mine actually shot that deer, and no one seen him for 7-8 days, and then all of a sudden he starts showing up again.
Really?
And I don't know if shot angle but he absolutely drilled the deer. But I think it just didn't get inside. It didn't get into the rib cage at all.
I think I had a similar
situation. Yeah. So chance he's still alive. Hopefully he is. You can get back on him.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he shows back up.
But the deer my buddy shot just now started showing up on a field I was expecting him to. So we'll see.
So you've been rifle hunting?
No, I don't rifle hunt.
Really?
No, I don't.
Just bow?
Yeah, pretty much just bow hunt. I mean, I've got three sons, so I take them quite a bit. They go a lot.
You guys got one, at least one.
Actually, my oldest son killed one in Kansas, like September. They have an early youth rifle season. And I went out there with him, and he killed a really framey 8-point. And so my middle son got to go. He was kind of the main focus because the other one already killed one. He killed a nice deer. Just happened to be like that a perfect, nice 8.4-year-old
Yeah.
that worked out perfect, 30 yards.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I
So,
saw a picture. It looked like a nice deer.
but no, I don't rifle hunt. Nothing against rifle hunting at all. Just, I think what actually did it for me is I hunted there was a long, narrow field when I was a kid, and I hunted that field, and basically you get out of the truck, walk 50 yards, you hunt this long, narrow field, and you sit there long enough, you're going to kill a good deer. And about 3 years of that, and I was bow hunting hard, and I couldn't kill a doe. I was actively trying to kill a doe, and I could not kill one. And so I'm going to be a bow hunter.
Right.
I got to figure this out somehow, So I quit rifle hunting probably when I was 14 years old. And
cool.
Yeah. And nothing against it though. I mean,
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I like killing deer too much.
Yeah. No.
And I guess I'm not that successful of a bow hunter yet.
Yeah.
I've killed my fair share, but just this year's humbled me quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, you'll have those years.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
for sure. It's
it
been
happens.
one of them, so.
But
what about, you were talking about food plots and stuff, like
yeah.
You guys do a lot of work on
all
your farms.
Oh yeah, yeah. So not that we don't own a crazy amount of land, a decent amount. I mean, I'm always active. I mean, I love land.
Right.
It's like I could just be on it every day.
Can't have enough of it.
No, you can't. And so, yeah, I mean, I plant a lot of food. I mean, I'm a lot of corn, a lot of clover. Now, this kind of goes against what other people would do, probably. I don't plant a lot of beans, and the reason why is, and I probably need to shift this way of thinking, but we're in Missouri, and we do have a rifle season, and most of the time, I don't have a deer I'd want to hunt after rifle season. I mean, what I'm seeing most of the time is I'm letting go of 4-year-olds, letting 4-year-olds go.
And hoping someone else doesn't shoot them.
And praying. And then the next year when they're 5, that's when I'm hunting them. I don't get very many deer to 6 and 7 years old.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's rare occasion anywhere that happens,
yeah.
I think. Unless you have that 1,000 acres like you're talking about in one spot.
Yeah. And still then I don't, I think it's very, very tough even then. But yeah, I plant a lot of corn, clover, turnips, radishes. Any corn that I plant, I always fly radishes and turnips on the corn. And then obviously I knock the corn down. Corn and clover is my favorite combination, though.
Really? Okay.
So, yep. Yeah, a lot of plant quite a bit of switchgrass, miscanthus. I used to play golf. I don't really play golf anymore. I just pretty much work on work on what farms we do have. So, just trying to make.
I've been wanting to plant some switchgrass. I got some ideas of some places, just for some cover, just flicking things up. Like
yep.
What goes to an open hayfield? Really, like not that good.
No. The best, I guess, from what I've messed with switch, and I'm not the best at.
Not a biologist.
I think, no. I think it's hard to get it to grow in fescue. Most of mine is like broadcasted into, and don't get me wrong, you can drill it and it'll come up and you'll do fine. But mine has been broadcasted into soybeans. Plant soybeans, then I'll broadcast that into it. I've had a lot of success where I feel like the deer use it the most is where it's dirty, where it didn't come up that well, and other things came up.
It's even like spotty and
it's a little spotty. I have a field actually, probably 8 acres, that it's as lush and pretty as it can look, and I don't feel like the deer like it as much. So anywhere
you just can't see them in there; it's so thick.
I don't know. I don't feel like they come out of it. I don't feel like they bed in there. But anywhere that there was other browse in there besides the switchgrass is where I felt like it was the best.
That's interesting.
So I don't know. That's my experience with it. But yeah.
Well, dude, that's a cool deer.
So you got one more weekend of rifle season, and
a few more hunts for me. I don't know. Not feeling real good about it, but you never know. It's still the rut. There's still been some chasing going on. I seen a buck cruising tonight, so anything could happen.
Oh yeah.
My cameras have been just dead.
Yeah.
Nothing on camera, which is not motivating. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but.
Have you moved them lately?
No, and that's part of it. This is how I do it, and I'm not saying it's right, but October 1st, I want to make sure they're on scrapes.
Yep.
And that's where I leave them. Because, they're hitting those scrapes all of October, and then November 1st, they're starting to chase, and sure, they're not hitting the scrapes anymore, but I don't want to go in there and move cameras around on Halloween or in that time. I don't want to And really, you're just at that point, you're just trying to catch a deer chasing a doe or something, right?
Yeah,
Be on
absolutely,
trails
yeah.
or field edges or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know where to put them, I guess, and I don't like to get in there and move them. I love getting scrape videos in October, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Video request all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you seeing the scrapes heat up at all anymore?
no.
Really?
Opening weekend of rifle season, I had a few mature bucks stop by maybe midday or just random times and like hit a scrape that they're used to that I've seen them on before.
Yep.
But not a lot.
Do you ever go back to your camera? I'm not knocking cell cams, but it's like I'll put one on a scrape and like you're talking about October 1st or October 15th, and then I go back to the camera and the scrape's 10 yards the other way.
No, so I'll usually, depending on where it's at, but
Yeah.
I'll usually cut limbs
So they
around.
can't.
Like if there's another,
Yeah.
be a perfect scrape here, I'll get rid of it.
Yep.
And then I try to, I know some scrapes, like historical scrapes that they use, but I try to make the limb perfect.
Okay.
I zip tie a pin oak branch,
Yep.
leaves on it in the right spot, or there's one I really like it's a treetop that's fallen and like this one limb is pointed down.
Yeah.
As rigid as could be, and they use it like crazy. Like it's kind of like a vine, like just one. That's a historical one I don't do anything to, but I always go in and like rough up the ground and put some sin in or pea in it or something just to get it started. And in some places, if I may not have even been in there, I'll put a camera in there and I haven't been there because I haven't been getting anything. So there could be a big scrape 20 feet away. I don't know. I did have one. I've got a vine scrape in this little food plot, and 15 yards around the corner there's a big scrape that they've never made there before, but I was like, man, I wonder if anything else has been hitting that wasn't hitting my vine. But
my cameras are dead as well. So
it's just
half of them are literally dead. I need to get in there. And
what kind of cameras you're on?
So right now I'm pretty much running Moultries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You like them?
Good luck with them? I like them. I first started out running Reconix cameras, but then I just got to where I was like, oh, I just can't do it.
Right.
I mean, they're, in my opinion, the best camera. And
Sure.
some of them are 6 years old. They're still like they're brand new, but I couldn't do it. And the Moultrie camera works, and a lot of them do now, where it's AT&T or Verizon just picks up whatever's the best. And,
right.
You know, some of these places you don't have good service.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm running the most right now, and I'm liking them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been running Tacticams.
Yeah.
And I've had all good luck with them. Just I've yet to have one that just quit working. I was running the first cell cameras I ever bought were Wild Game Innovations.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I bought 3 or 4, and then I became obsessed and bought a couple. I think I ended up with 7 or 8 of them, and about the time I bought the 6th or 7th, I had one quit working right, and it had a few of them not work right, and I sold them, jumped ship, and bought Tacticams.
Yeah.
And I really like them.
Yeah. They got to be the most popular camera now.
Yeah, I'd say so. I bet they're Although the Moultries are affordable.
Yeah, they are.
My buddy's like, well, I can buy 2 of them for that price. I'm like, well, you're right.
Yeah, I have had good luck with.
I've had
good luck with the Moultries. Yeah.
I used to really enjoy the old Moultries, like just regular cameras.
M88s, the small little black ones. Is that what you had?
No, I had.
Alligator clip ones.
I had
those
M55s. Not that old. Not that, like M550s, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Back in. Okay, so Rogers Sporting Goods has waterfowl days.
Yep. We
went over there, and the cool thing to do is spend too much money on hunting stuff. Me and all my buddies go and spend a lot of money, and I bought 3 or 4 of them. They were on sale, real cheap, and I'm still running a couple of them.
Are you?
And when you turn them on, the date that pops up is 2014, like when they're made. So they're 11 years old, and they're still probably my favorite non-cell camera. They just work great, and I can trust them.
Yeah. No, those M88s were good. I had one Moultrie, the alligator clip one, so
really?
I had to be like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And you had to pack that big battery in there, and they're just huge on a tree. Right. I didn't feel like deer avoided those cameras back in the day, though.
Right.
Maybe I just, you weren't.
They were new to them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the deal was with it, but
I don't know. Deer definitely pick them up. I've had some. In some of them, like on a scrape, I'm less concerned about hiding them.
Yeah.
I think because they're distracted. But I've had some deer that are like, wait, what's that? Or they like I'll request a video, and the picture looks fine, but they're walking up to it and pump the brakes and just.
Yep.
And it's not that they run off, but they notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, they notice it. And I can see on a old buck that it could make a difference. Be like, I'm not going to walk right through there anymore. I'm going to skirt around that or something.
Some of the it's just they're so just deer in general, how cool they are. But some of them, I'll get a buck that just doesn't care at all. It's like he likes the camera.
Right.
And then the next one, he can't stand it.
Right.
You know. So
every deer is different.
Every one of them. So I guess I'm not quite to the point yet where I wonder what it'd be like just have like 2 side-by-side farms almost. Cameras on this one, don't have cameras on this one, and just load this one up and just see what farm, if they're very similar farms, bedding similar, food similar, see which one the deer actually prefer. And it'd be so hard to know. I mean, hunting it
would be hard to tell.
You know, but sometimes they don't care for them sometimes. So, and I don't know if it's, bucks that are more used to people in open areas. Sometimes they are a little more okay with them, or they're, the camera's located in a spot that they're used to seeing people, but
used to human presence.
Yeah.
Something.
But
dude, I wanted to bring up too. You kill this in a cattle pasture, like when I see cattle pasture, I'm like, no deer there.
Yeah.
And that's not true, but I don't pay much attention to them.
I'm absolutely the
just
same
interesting.
Way. It
can't count it out.
There wasn't enough cows in this pasture to take away, I guess, the food that's in the pasture.
Right.
So,
that would make a difference too.
Yeah. And it was a brushy pasture, but actually, as I was going to get the deer, there was a cow in there, and the cow takes off running, and I think it's the deer, and I'm like, oh, what did I just do? Then I don't know. There may have been 5 or maybe 6 in there on, say it's 80 acres.
Right.
It's not a lot, and it's half timber, half pasture.
Yeah.
So, most of the time I'm not looking for big deer in cattle pasture. So, this is just kind of a one-off deal. So,
well, he's a cool deer, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're able to bring him because
we
wouldn't have been talking about the same deer if you not have brought him.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was that big.
No, yeah, and I think some of it, I got a lot of buddies make fun of my pictures that I take with the deer, and I make fun of them because they get a little too emotional with them.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, you just snapped a picture of it laying on the ground and sent it to us, so we couldn't tell what it was. I'm not the best at taking kill pictures.
To be honest, I was waiting for you to post some better ones. I was like, man, what? I want to see what this deer really is.
Yeah, you're not going to get those out of me, I don't think, anytime soon.
But that's all right. No,
unless someone else is taking the pictures. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not good at taking the photos, so you pretty much got to see it in person.
Yeah, you definitely got to see this one in person. It's an awesome deer.
Yeah, well, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it.
Thanks
for talking.
Yeah, thanks
for
having
me
on. Yeah, thanks for having me on. So it was a lot of fun.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.